So I'm happy to be back after maybe a month of being gone. Did you miss us? So Mariko and I decided to take a break because of exams and stuff, but we are now back, and hopefully we'll be back into our regular weekly schedule. So that's good. So this week we've decided that we're going to be talking about Dove and their sort of like real beauty campaign, partially because of the new video that's come out recently. Like, probably you've seen it because it's been everywhere, but the Real Beauty Sketches video, I'll maybe link in the bottom so you can see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it. So I have sort of had some mixed feelings, problems with the Dove campaigns for a while now. I mean, I just have to sort of like caveat this with there are definitely some good things that have come out of it. I mean, like, if you look at the facts, like, yes, it means that there is more diversity in advertising because of these ads, and like, yes, that's good. It's nice that that's a thing that exists. It's not perfect, which I'm going to talk about later, because obviously nothing's perfect, but like, there are definitely some problems with it, but that is nice. The straight facts, that's a good thing. And also, like, they have created some things that are great resources. Like, one of their first campaigns was there was an ad where they showed basically a photo of this normal woman being airbrushed to look like a supermodel, and that's a really good educational tool to show exactly what airbrushing does and exactly how non-representative of reality a lot of the images that we see are, and that's also great. But moving beyond that, I have a lot of problems with Dove and with the Dove campaign. Because first of all, there's the obvious, which is that, I mean, as good as some of the things that they're doing are, although I'm going to talk in a second about how they're not actually that great. At the end of the day, like, Dove is a company, and they're doing this because it sells. And I mean, you can tell that because of a lot of the flaws with it. And also, I mean, they're owned by the same company, so like their sister company is Axe, for goodness sakes. Like, they're not doing this altruistically, and I think that that's just something that's good to sort of like remember and take the things that they do with a grain of salt, I guess. Like, appreciate the things that they put out that are good for their value, because some of them are valuable, but I think it's important to like realize that, because they still are a beauty company and they still do some shitty things. Like, they had one ad about like some deodorant, and they're talking about like beautiful underarms, so it's like, okay, with this ad you've created a new insecurity, which is having ugly underarms. Was that a thing that anyone thought of before that ad? Are there probably people thinking of it now? Yes. So like, there's things like that which are not great. Anyway, so going into this ad, and I guess in general, more of the problems that I have with that. I have a problem with their slogan, Real Beauty, because, well, I guess you could take this two ways, and with their original ads, it made more sense. You could take it being like real as in non-photoshopped, non-airbrushed, real people who haven't been touched up, what they look like, and like that I can see. But I think what it's sort of morphed into is a kind of like, this is what real beauty is, and these other people are fake or not real. And whenever you're creating this dichotomy of real something, like all these posts that go around about like real women, that's harmful, and you're body shaming, and you are insinuating that there are invalid ways to be beautiful. Because, like, newsflash Dove, there are people who are naturally a size 2 and who naturally look like that, and they are beautiful. And their beauty is not any less real because of their size or because of what they look like. So I think that that is a problem that I have with the Dove ads. Slogan, because it reinforces this idea of real versus not real when it comes to what people look like. And it also, like, there is some shaming going on with like people who undergo plastic surgery and stuff, because like, if you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, there's something wrong with the culture that makes people think that they need to, But if that's something that you want to do, there's nothing wrong with you doing that. And you shouldn't be shamed for it, which is sort of what Dove does, a little bit. Then I guess focusing more on the ads themselves. So I think my main problem, like there are lots of things that you can say about this ad, like it's very, very whitewashed, for one thing, which is like, shitty Dove, don't do it, and lots of other things. But I think one of the things that I want to focus on with this ad and with our campaigns in general is the fact that like they claim to sort of be like promoting like more open ideas of beauty or whatever, but really what most of their ads seem to be doing, and what this video really does, is just trying to say like, it's not challenging beauty norms, it's just trying to say, oh look, people actually look more like these beauty norms than they think they do, which isn't helpful at all. Like, not at all. Like, there was one quote from the forensic artist that they had doing this that really rubbed me the wrong way, which was something like, he was saying like, oh, like, these women focus on, like, scars and moles and whatever, whereas, like, really what the other person's describing is just, like, a normal, beautiful person. And then it's that word normal, which is sort of insinuating that, okay, if you aren't normal, then there's something wrong with you, and that you do need to be normal. It's just that you don't think that you are, but you actually are. And that's not a good message to be spewing, because like the message that we should be putting forth is like, yeah, whatever you look like, no matter how far it is from what society deems beautiful, like that's still okay and that's still great. You'll notice if you watch the video, most of the things that people are describing are, and the things that are the things that the other people are describing are things that we view as classically beautiful and sort of within those beauty norms, and then the things that the people are describing are things that fall outside of that. Which is just, again, this reinforces this. Like, I would love if there was a video like this that was doing something like that and having these people describe themselves as they saw themselves, but instead of being like, oh, that's not actually how you are, it's like, oh, like, cool, that is how you are, but you're still beautiful. And there's the same trend with some other ads that they have. They have this campaign where it's like they have like a shot of one woman's face, and then there's two boxes and two different adjectives or like phrases, descriptive phrases with question marks, and like the first one is what we're supposed to think of as bad, and the second one is what we're supposed to think of as good, and it's supposed to be like challenging like your perceptions of things. So there's one that's like the first is like fat or fit, and then I think there's one that's like wrinkled or wonderful, whatever, but it's still reinforcing this dichotomy that you can't be fat and fit, which yes, you can. Also, you can't be fat and beautiful. Like, it's still implying that fat is bad, which isn't good. And then, yeah, again, like the like wrinkled or wonderful, it's like, you can be both, which is what we should be promoting, but what Dove isn't doing, which is why I have a problem with this campaign and with Dove campaigns in general. Anyways, so those are just sort of like my 2 cents on this whole thing. Yeah, so I hope that that was maybe interesting, give you something to think about. If you have thoughts and feelings, as always, like, love to hear them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and it's nice to be back, and I will see you next week, and Mariko, I will see you on Thursday. Alright, bye.